Welcome to Nasdaq TradeTalks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. We're coming to you live from Consensus in Austin, Texas, and joining me for this segment, we have Eric Piscini, CEO of Swirlds Labs. We're here to discuss the Hedera ecosystem, governance, and what's next for Swirlds. It is great to have you with us, Eric. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me.
You got it. Let's talk about the Hedera ecosystem and where Swirlds Labs fits within it.
So Swirlds Labs was created in 2022 when we decided to split the team between Hedera, the founding team, and the team delivering everything for the network. So about 2 years ago, almost everybody left Hedera and joined Swirlds Labs to create that team of 150 people building on everything on the network. So now Hedera is the issuer of the token, and Swirlds Labs is everything else, from product and engineering and cybersecurity and marketing and communication.
Let's talk about some of the new use cases spanning tokenization, DePIN, and sustainability. What's exciting in that space there?
Oh, I mean, that is one that I really love, which is what we did for Hyundai and Kia, the car makers. We are tracking a carbon footprint of every car that's leaving their supply chain. So when you buy a car, you can know the carbon footprint of that car because it's been registered along the way with 26 different suppliers, and you can offset that carbon footprint by buying carbon credits. So if you're an organization committing to sustainability, you can actually buy carbon credit to offset your footprint. And you can do that in a trusted way because that information is captured on Hedera.
Yeah, that is interesting. Let's talk about governance for a moment as well, because that almost goes hand in hand, right?
It is.
You're thinking about tracking your supply chain, whether you're a climate risk manager or you're in a governance position. I feel like you're hearing more use cases around that.
Yeah, and I think governance for Hedera is very unique.
Yeah.
We are the only blockchain with a governing council, and we have 32 organizations, very well-known organizations, Google, Dell, IBM, banks, supply chain companies, really well-known companies. They operate the network, but they also contribute to the governance of the network. And they decide how Hedera is going to be evolving from a technology and from a governance point of view in the future. So they have a very active role, and to us that the reason it's important for us is that it triggers a different way to engage with our clients, because now when you go to a client and you say, you know, those 32 large organizations, about to be 39, are running the network, that's a different credibility that we get as a technology platform.
Yeah, it's interesting too because I was reading about the governance there, and each company has an equal voice.
Correct.
There.
Correct. Yeah, that's very important for us. They have an equal voice in terms of voting, and they have the opportunity to participate in different committees, if you want, working on the technology, focusing on the treasury management, which is very important for any layer 1 and layer 2 projects, focusing on the government relationships, focusing on the membership committee, how do we accept new members, how do we manage the members once they join. All of this is very actively managed by the council members.
So what's next for Swirlds Labs?
So for Swirlds Labs, we are still working on creating that abstraction layer on the top of Hedera to make sure that when we engage with a large organization, they come and they say, oh, it's really easy to build something new on Hedera. We don't want them to think about the complexities of blockchain, but we want them to benefit from the value proposition that we deliver to them, right? So they don't need to think about tax implications, accounting issues, because we are touching tokens and crypto. We want them to focus on coding APIs and building amazing applications like Hyundai and Kia on the top of Hedera.
Right, of course, I mean, the user experience, they just want it to work,
yeah,
right?
It has to work, yeah.
And we've been asking this throughout the conference. Are there too many networks at this point, or is interoperability improving to such a point where they're communicating better with each other?
I think so. It's interesting. It's a really good question because I've been in this business for about 11 years, right? And you and I talked a few times over the years. Interoperability is really important at the technical level because you want at some point to be able to say, my digital asset that I represent, maybe a piece of real estate, can be represented on different ledgers, different blockchain, without me being aware or confused about this. So interoperability between blockchain is going to be really, really important. There's a lot of very interesting discussions and work groups working on this. We have a unique way of thinking of it. It's not ready yet to be announced, but we are really excited about what we call intelligent communication.
Yeah, I'm excited to learn about that too. Appreciate the insight as always, Eric. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks, and thanks for joining us from Consensus. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.